So for whoever just joined, welcome. This is Federica, part of the Docsity team, and we are here with Marta, who's the Director of International Masters at ZLC. We have Juan, who's a current student, and we have Clara that are ready to answer all of the questions that you might have. We're going to start with the presentation now, and we're looking forward to receiving all of your questions into the Q&A box. So Marta, I leave you the floor, and we're looking to receiving all of the questions that we can answer at the end of the presentation.
Okay, thank you so much, Federica. It's always a pleasure working with you on these webinars with Docsity. And I see that I did not forget to unmute myself, which usually happens. So I would like to welcome everyone. So good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I mean, we've seen just at the beginning that you're joining from a different geographical zone. So most welcome to have you attend this webinar today. As Federica already mentioned, so I'm not on my own. So today I have the pleasure of having two people join me. So Clara Isabel Garcia, who happens to be the coordinator of the program. And if you have any questions regarding the scholarships, living in Zaragoza, she's the person to go to. And Juan, who accepted my invitation to be with us today. So I would like to introduce them and to let them say a few words about themselves. So Juan, you want to go first?
Sure. Hello, everyone. Nice to be here with you. Thank you, Marta, to invite me as well. I'm Juan Pablo Susi. I'm from Chile. Actually, I saw Juan Andres, that is from Viña del Mar, Chile. I was studying in Valparaíso, really close to there. So yes, I'm a student in CLOG program, enjoying this time in Zaragoza with all my classmates, now friends and really close family. We consider each other.
Clara?
Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining this webinar. As Marta said, I'm Clara Garcia, International Masters Coordinator at ZLC, and I'm in charge of the academic issues as well as supporting students during the year abroad and help also with the visas in order to come here to Zaragoza and join the program. Welcome.
Okay, thank you both. So let's start with the presentation. I mean, as Federica also mentioned, you can enter your questions and we'll be happy to take turns to reply to your questions at the end of the presentation, right? Okay, let's go for it. Let me.
Perfect. So yes, we can see the presentation.
It didn't let me go down. So. Okay. Oh, there you go. So welcome again. As you can see, this is a picture that was taken in January. 10 points to whomever can recognize Juan in the picture. This happened, as I mentioned, so last January, we were able to go to MIT this year. Unfortunately, it wasn't the case last year, and Juan will tell you more about the experience later. But this is like almost the whole class that was in the picture. And I think that it resumes very well the experience and being in front of the dome for the group picture, right? If we talk about the MIT Global Scale Network, some of you may know, we are partnering with the Center for Transportation and Logistics. The Center for Transportation and Logistics at MIT was founded back in 1973, and we partnered up with them in 2003. So we were actually the first pioneer center in the Scale Network. I don't know if you guys know what SCALE stands for. It stands for Supply Chain and Logistics Excellence. So we are part of this network that it started just as a partnership with us, and then it increased with different locations. So we do have a center in Colombia. The only difference with Colombia is that they do not offer a master's program. They do offer some courses which are certificate programs. Then there was the opening of the center in Malaysia in 2011, and more recently Luxembourg and China in 2015 and 2016. As you can see the figures below, so these are the different programs that are offered. the number of faculty members that we have, the researchers, the different projects that we have all together. And when do the students get a chance to meet these people from the other centers? It's in January when everybody goes to MIT. If we talk about Zaragoza, so already Joshi Sheffi, who is the director of CTL, mentioned about the strategic location of Zaragoza. So Zaragoza, as you can see on the map, this is of course in Europe. You can see in the radius, so we are pretty close to the main cities in Spain, but also within 1,500 kilometers of the main cities in Spain and in the rest of Europe, right? And I mean, Clara and myself have been living in Zaragoza for many years, so we can tell you some of the good things about the city, but I think that you really want to hear from someone who is enrolled in the program and who's here as a student, who's also on a budget. Zaragoza is not at all expensive if you compare to like Madrid, Barcelona, and other cities. And also, I mean, we tell students that they should have like a budget of around 600 euros for living expenses and any other expenses that they may have. But I guess that you want to hear from Juan rather than from me. So Juan?
Yeah, what you mentioned is true, actually. I would say that Zaragoza is a really nice place to live. I think it's yeah, compared to another cities, it's a really cheap city, I would say. I come from Chile, and compared to Chile, I would say that it's cheaper than where I lived before, like supermarket, living expenses. I think it's really nice. It's also, I consider that it's a safe place. I also go by bike all the time, ZLC. Actually, everything is really close. I kind of cross all the city by bike, and it just takes me 20 minutes or 25 minutes, something like that. And it's really friendly for bikers because they have a lot of bike lanes, so it's nice. It's nice, and also the people is really nice. I think in all over Spain, people is really nice, but I really like Aragon people. Actually, personally, I am planning to move to Zaragoza, really.
Okay, so that's a good indication that Zaragoza is the place to be, right? And
Yeah,
also,
I know.
Zaragoza is not a big city, but it's not a small city either. So it has a population of around 700 people. But it's true what Juan was saying. It's like people like the students who come by bike or by scooter to the center, to ZLC, and you're really not far. I mean, you're never stuck in traffic, and that's also a plus. Like if you do not have much time, you know that you can be back home in 20 minutes. If you need some sleep, or if you need to go find some quiet time that you cannot find at the center. So it's not like you're stuck in traffic for hours.
Yeah, I always say that it has benefits of a big city, but it's not as busy as one. Yeah.
Okay, so if we talk about the center itself, so we are actually a research center, both on education and research. That's what we do. We do have, on the one hand, the educational programs, and on the other, we have a research team that have work on different research projects. They have different research lines. So our mission is to create a center of excellence for both research and education, right? And that picture that you see is where our center is. So it was part of Expo. This is an area that was built for an exhibition in 2008. It was about water and sustainable development. And we're glad in the sense that the government of Aragon decided not to let it die. And there's already like 56 companies operating in Expo, and we're one of them. We are affiliated, of course, to both MIT and the University of Zaragoza. So the University of Zaragoza will be the institution that will confer your degree. It's an own degree of the university, but also MIT issues a certificate, a graduate certificate, so from the MIT Global Scale Network. These are some pictures of our center. That you also saw on the video that we played. So we have the lecture hall where most of the sessions take place. We also have a library where you can play chess and you can relax for a bit. And we have like the facilities are almost, I would say, brand new because we only moved back in 2019. So there is plenty of sun, and as you can see, I mean, the facilities are really great. The only one that we are not using, and actually Juan was asking me this morning, then again, and it's the cafeteria, which still we cannot use, unfortunately. It's been closed for 2 years. And that's a shame because that was a place for students and staff to network as well. Also to give the possibility to students to bring some traditional dishes so that we can have a taste of their culture. And unfortunately, we cannot use them, at least for the time being. But hopefully for next academic year, that's not going to be an issue. And hopefully also, Juan, let's hope that in the near future, with the lifting of some of the restrictions, we will be able to use it. Because I know that for you guys, it's important to be able to have your lunch at the center, and also because the cafeteria that we have is great. It's an amazing space that we cannot use. Okay, so if we talk about the programs that are offered in collaboration with MIT, so these are the programs that we're going to talk to you about today. So the CLOC program, that's the master's where Juan is enrolled in. It's a full-time program. It's roughly 10 months, it's full-time, and it is taught entirely in English. We also have a blended program. So for those of you that do not know about this option, so that would be a 5-month program, which will start at MIT with the stay in January. And then students on both cohorts take classes together from February until the end of May. For that, I will tell you later what you need to do in terms of admission requirements. We also have a PhD program. We run executive education courses, both open and tailor-made programs. And we also run the PhD with the PhD Summer Academy. And on the Spanish side, we have a master's program, which is part-time, and that it's taught 3 times a week. This is something, of course, that we're very, very proud of, is that our programs are ranked #1 in the rankings, also mainly #1 in Edu Universal ranking. And this has been, I was going to say for 5 consecutive years, but there was 1 year where there was no ranking, so 4+1. Also in supply chain management world. And those of you who are Spanish or who know about El Mundo, it's one of the Spanish newspaper. We've been #1 for 11 consecutive years. This is Josie, so you saw him on the video, and he's also very known in the Micromaster, and we also had the opportunity to have him teach some online sessions to the students, and we're hoping that then again with lifting of the restrictions, he's going to be able to attend our graduation ceremony first week in June. So these are some of the things that he has to say on the scale network and what it mirrors and what it prepares you for, right? This we already mentioned some part of it. So let's say that the key component of the class in the CLOC programs is the diversity. So we have a diverse faculty body, but we do have a very diverse class. So we have people, when I talk about diversity, it's not just gender. I mean, we're still aiming at having more women attend our programs, but we have diversity in terms of educational background, of work experience, anything really, you name it. So the program, as I mentioned, it's full-time, it's a small class size. So in Juan's cohort, we have 24 students, plus 12 students from the blended program. We are not aiming at having the size of an MBA program, mainly because the center is small. It's selective. We want for students to be able to, I know that the program is challenging, but still we want for the students to be able to finish their master. And also because we do have a limited number of faculty members that can help the students. And for us, it's very important that all the needs are met. So both on the administrative part, so Clara, myself, and another colleague of ours, Mar, as well as on the academic part from our faculty members. This could be the program structure. So we're actually on the C term, so almost the end of the program. We were saying 3 more months for Juan to graduate. So we start with an orientation period. So we have some preparatory sessions on math and finance to refresh some of the concepts for some people. And we do also have career workshops to help the students prepare for what's coming next, right? We also say that from the start, and whenever we have a conversation with a potential candidate, or if we refer to other students, that although the responsibility for finding a job resides in the student, we are going to help as much as we can. So Mark, who is the corporate relations manager, will help with the career development. And it's true that we do have many contacts, and we have like alumni who are super. And whenever they have a job opening, they share it with us, and they're really ready to have more C-loggers, which is the common term of the program, join their companies, which is actually the case for tomorrow. We have one alumni from 2014, 15, if I'm not mistaken, that he said, okay, we've made this opening available on LinkedIn, but I would really like for one of the CLOG students, so one of the current students, to join my team. So he's actually conducting a presentation tomorrow, and then we will have like the students apply whenever during this process that they're having, which is going to go pretty fast. So that's just an example. Then the 8 term, so the 8 term goes from beginning of September until the Christmas break. So this is where you guys are going to be learning the core courses, so such as logistics systems, inventory, financial, analytical methods, also introduction to SNOP and the Spanish language for those of you who are not native. Then when we go to MIT in January, here the focus for those 3 weeks is leadership and management. And as I mentioned, so Juan will tell you a little bit more about the experience later. So there's a number of activities that are that take place while we're there. Some to polish the leadership skills of the students, some talks by supply chain leaders in different multinationals, by MIT professors, challenges, competitions, etc. And then, so this is the part where we're at now. So the students, when we come back, had a sustainability course, and they just ended the supply chain analytics course, and they're now taking the machine learning with one of our visiting professors. There will be some courses which are still common to everyone. And then this is also the part where we offer the electives. So usually we talk with our faculty members when we decide which electives are going to offer this year. And usually students, so in order to graduate, they would require to be taking 2 of them. Some of the students are very ambitious and take all of them. I don't know if you, Juan, how many are you taking? Are you taking 2? Are you taking 3, 4, 2?
2. Planning to audit some, but yes.
Okay, so I mean the students can audit all the courses, but it's true that as we get closer to graduation, the more time that the students need to invest on working on their thesis, right? These are some pictures from January as well. So this is the classroom where we were, and so Josie was interviewing VP of supply chain from Moderna and some other speakers. So let me stop here and ask Juan to jump in and tell us a little bit more about his experience while we were there.
Yeah, it was a really nice experience. I would say like it was 3 weeks, really, I don't know, intense with a lot of activities. We met a lot of different people, like diverse for different programs, the program at MIT, the residential, the blended one, Luxembourg, the ones that came from China. Yeah, and it was really interesting because we had a speaker series there where we got the chance to have VPs and senior heads of supply chain from Tesla, Maersk, just to give you an example, like I don't know, Roche. Also, we had some Python sessions, like labs and challenges, leadership, entrepreneurship, networking, negotiation, like sessions. Also, supply chain challenge and Shark Tank. Those were challenges where we worked together in groups with the other programs as well. So we got the chance to work with MIT guys from GC Luxembourg. So it was really nice to work with them, to sit with each other, try to work in these war rooms and for a week in these challenges. I particularly I work in a challenge for BMW. Some others were like some global retail companies or online solutions, StockX, for example, just to give you an example. It was really exciting, and I learned a lot from that experience.
Okay, thank you, Juan. So I was mentioning also, so as part of the curriculum, so we mentioned about the courses that everybody has during the year. And we also have the Zaragoza Academic Partners that we launched back in 2008. So the students alongside the courses, they need to work on a thesis project. So this is not something that you need to come up with an idea of a topic. This is something that we provide. So we work with companies, with the multinationals, on securing a thesis project for the students. So this is going to be a real life supply chain problem that the companies are facing. The way it works is that we collect this information in the summer. We get the companies to come and present their projects to the students in September. But by that time, we will have collected the resumes from the students, and the company can decide, okay, I would like to interview Juan because he has the skills that I think are required for my project. Some of the companies, they may say, okay, I have time, I'm willing to talk to whomever is interested in our project. And with some of the companies where we have worked with in the past, they may say, okay, I'm happy you assign to students that would be interested in my project, and that's it. So on the other hand, we will have to take into account the students' preferences, and then we proceed with the matching. So the idea is that we will have this matching made by beginning of October, and that the students will start working on the project back then in October, and they submit their project by mid-May, sorry. We will also assign one of our faculty members as the thesis advisor, who is going to work alongside the students and who's going to also participate in some of the calls that the students will have with their companies. So although we have a non-disclosure agreement with the companies, some of the companies you may have seen on our website. So we do work with the different companies in all the different sectors. So these are the logos. I mean, we cannot disclose which companies we're working with right now, but this is to give you an indication the type of companies that have sponsored thesis projects for our students in the past. So I think that you may also be interested in hearing a little bit more about the project that Juan Pablo and his partner are working on. So if you want to tell us a little bit more, Juan.
Yeah, I'm currently working in a spare parts network optimization of a global printers company. I would say this network is the entire USA, so it's really challenging. A lot of data requirements and cleaning that is it was really a challenge, and we are still working on it. So we still have 2 months, Marta, if I'm not mistaken. So I think we are doing a great job, and we are gonna submit a good thesis.
Yeah, this is actually there was an event that we didn't mention before that usually takes place in person. So we're hoping that next year we will be able to do it, which is a research expo. That is where the students get the opportunity to present in front of an audience. So these are usually executives from the different multinationals, how their thesis, I mean, let's say that the students start working on the project in October, and this is end of January. So they have initial results, they have the hypothesis, what the project is about. And they get some very useful recommendations from the executives that come to this event. So this year we had to do it online, but next year let's plan to do it in person for sure. And then also, like a couple of weeks back, we had a midstream review, so where the students had the opportunity to present in front of the faculty members and also their classmate projects, and also to have some feedback, some constructive feedback, and some ideas, because at this stage, so the state of the thesis really vary from one team to another. Too much data, not data. So this is why I mean time is clicking. If we talk about career opportunities, so it's really going to depend on what your plans are after graduation and whether you have your plans made out. It is important that I mention, because we see it nowadays, and we think that it's going to be the same. There are opportunities for everyone. It's just a matter of looking for the right ones, because some companies, unfortunately, are not willing to sponsor work permits, and they do require a European Union passport in order to get employment. Other companies, just to name Amazon, everybody is interested in working for Amazon. Amazon does not have that. We had BASF as a chemical company come interview our students last week, and they do not have that issue. So it's just a matter of knowing which companies, and it takes a lot of effort, but this is something that you would need to do if you want to secure a position in Europe. I mean, we can help you and see what contacts that we have and whether we have any alumni, but it is like an important role that the students have to play in their future, actually. And we tell the students not to start too early, because then we already had a case this year of someone who started with the interviews very early, and they made him an offer, and I said, okay, you need to start in April, and the program finishes end of May. So he decided to turn down the offer, but this is something I mean, this is a good problem to have, right? That you are given an offer, but not too soon. So we are now we have a number of companies that are coming on campus to do the same, to interview of our students. And these are some of the companies where our alumni are working. This is Douglas from last year. So he went back to his country. And so now he got a position as a senior supply chain planner. As you can see, I mean, I don't know if you're able to read the whole quote, but I mean, he was very happy upon completion of the program, and most of our students are. They like, as you also mentioned, Juan, the hospitality of the Spanish people. It's true that I think that it has to do with the climate as well. So there is only one thing which is not so great here in Zaragoza, it's the wind. But other than that, today it's 20 degrees and it's end of February. So that's a pretty good thing. This could be the student profile, but it varies from 1 year to another. It's true that we do have a big, like a huge percentage of our students do come from an engineering background, but we have people from business, from economics, and from other disciplines. I mean, that you would not think like, okay, it's a Master of Engineering. How the hell did someone from political science join this program? I must say that we had cases, on those cases, we are very strict about the GMAT requirement, because, I mean, usually when you graduate from political sciences, you do not have, or you have not been exposed much to any analytical courses, and this is where GMAT comes in handy. As I mentioned before, so you see the big gap in gender, so 80% are male and only 20% around are female. The average age is 31. But we have, I mean, professionals with 10, 15, even more years of experience, as well as people who just graduated and where we have seen a lot of potential. Right? We have mentioned different nationalities. So Juan is from Chile, but we have people in the class from India, from Mexico, the US, from Finland. Which other countries do we have, guys? We also have come on, Clara.
Bolivia, Peru.
Bolivia, Peru, there you go.
Nigeria,
Russia.
South Africa.
South Africa. So very diverse, and with an average of 7 years of experience. This could be the key dates if you're planning to apply. So we have one more round. So actually today we are communicating the decisions of the second round deadline. And the next one is March 28th. So if you do miss the March 28th deadline, then there is still time for you to apply because we have rolling admissions. So the rolling admissions we will have for international students who will need to come to Spain on a student visa. And then again, if you have any questions about visa, Clara will be happy to answer any questions. The last date that you will be able to apply would be June 1st. Sometimes it depends on the country. It takes longer than with other countries. If you're a European and you do not need a visa to come to Spain, then you can apply until July 15th. This would be all the requirements. So, I mean, once you create the information here on Grad Apply, that's the platform of where all the applications go, MIT applications. So these are the requirements. You don't need to submit them right away. You can create an account and you can start uploading the documentation that you need to submit your application and save it until everything is complete and before you submit it. So the application form, you need to send us a statement of objectives. So why do you want to do this program? What do you expect from the program as well? Your resume. We were talking about GMAT, GRE, or SCOX. Some of you are taking SCOX, the supply chain fundamentals course online. So that would be to waive the requirement of the GMAT if you have excellent quantitative skills. So if you come from an engineering background, we will still look at your grades, but usually those people who have an engineering background can cope with the analytical part of the program. For all the disciplines, we will take GMAT, SCOX, or GRE. Then again, if you're not an English native, but we will ask for TOEFL, IELTS, or any type of the certification which is official. I mean, if you have studied in a university in English, or if you use English for your work, then we can also waive the requirement. We will also need your transcripts and diploma and 2 letters of recommendation. So the letters of recommendation are going to really depend on your age and your experience. So usually we require one from industry and one from academia. But if you just graduated, then 2 from from 2 professors, that's fine. If you graduated maybe 20 years ago and you don't want to reach out to a professor who may not even remember you, then 2 from industry are also fine. And then there is a video statement. The video statement is like the application. You don't need to record it right away. I mean, you can save it and watch it until you're happy with it. We're looking for your soft skills. So the idea would be that you're not reading from the screen, and that given that we are not able to talk to all of you and some of you are very far away, this is a good opportunity for us to see you on the screen and to see what you have to tell us about the 3 questions that the video is going to ask you for. This is what I mentioned, so Grad Apply. We also have for the CELOC program, we have partial scholarship that cover up to 80% of the tuition, as well as a loan that you can apply for and that could cover up to 70%. So this is the list of all the scholarship that we have. So depending also on where you come from, you can apply for multiple scholarship. These are not cumulative, but I think that if you are a woman from Spain, then you can apply for the Spanish citizenship, citizen scholarship, the Master Essay competition, the Women in Supply Chain, the Promising Professionals. So most of the scholarships have a 25% discount. The Women in Supply Chain is a 50% reduction, and so is the European Supply Chain Professional. And Juan was also awarded one of the scholarships. So would you like to tell us how it helped you enroll in the program?
Yeah, actually, I got awarded with the Promising Professionals. I applied to that scholarship and I got 25% reduction. And it is really helpful for me to have it because, I mean, when I apply, It was before pandemic, then pandemic started, and it was really difficult time personally and financially speaking. So it was a relief to actually to get awarded with this scholarship. But yes, it's really helpful.
Okay, thank you. And then so the blended program, I didn't mention that for the CELOC residential program. So the class that will graduate in beginning of June is the 18th promotion, and we welcomed so the students in January of the blended program, and that's the 5th promotion. So every time that Yoshi Sethi has a new idea, he's going to replicate it in Zaragoza, which is good news for us. So the students will have completed, as you can see on the screen, the 5 online courses. I mean, this is something that the students think, okay, it's just 5 online courses and then I joined the program in January. You have to bear in mind that if you haven't done any of these online courses, it can take you up to a year and a half to complete the courses and to get the comprehensive exam and get the Micromaster accreditation. So it's only then that you can apply for the blended program. We do have also 2 rounds of admissions that I will show you on the next slide. And so it starts with a program in MIT in January, which is always very confusing for us to meet the students in January. This year, we were not even to get a venue to meet with them. And some of the students have actually met back in Zaragoza. So we hope that we will be able to do a proper presentation of the blended program when we arrive at MIT. This is the curriculum, the program structure. So as you can see, what we consider the A term would be the 5 online courses and the comprehensive exam. And then the B and the C term is the same for the residential program. As you can see, so we do slightly better in terms of gender here. We have a better diversity in that sense. Then the numbers, again, big percentages people come from an engineering background. And more or less, the average age is the same with the same profile and some people who just graduated and some people who have a lot of work experience in supply chain. Okay, and this is Pushkar. So Pushkar went back to India and he took a senior consultant role in chain analytics. And we were also very happy to see him in January. Because we gave the possibility to students from last year who were not able to go to MIT to join us this January. So we were lucky to have 3 of them join us for the 3 weeks. And it was a pleasure to see him now as an alumni, but also as a student because he took part in some of the activities that took place. I mean, then again, as you can see, so he had a lot of good things to say about the program and what it meant to him upon completion of the same. Yeah, and I mentioned the date, so we are past the first round deadline. Then again, so the second round of the residential program and the first round of the blended program is the same, so January 31st. We communicate decisions at the same time, so today is admissions day actually, and if you apply to multiple centers, which is something that you can also do, you can expect to hear from the different centers on the same date. The next round is June 20th. That's mainly because there is a comprehensive exam in the next month, and we allow time for students to finish their Micromaster. And also, I mean, looking for good times and or doing some activities. Juan was also involved in the social committee during the fall term and was planning for activities for the students. He actually prepared together with one other student very cool video when they went for a trip to the Pyrenees. Yeah, I know that you enjoyed that trip very much. You want to mention something about your trip?
Yeah, it was really nice experience going to the Pyrenees. Having the mountains here is really nice. So we enjoyed that trip. Went hiking, doing some snow fights. It was really nice to share with all the classmates differently because we were like in stress the previous week with exams and stuff. Then going there was really amazing.
Okay, thank you. And now I guess that it's time for us to answer any questions that you have.
Amazing. So first of all, I wanted to thank Marta and Juan for sharing with us a lot of insight about the program and actually life at ZLC. Ready to answer all the questions? There are actually lots of questions, so be ready. Pedro asking about COVID situations, unfortunately, something that we're still sort of, dealing with, asking if anything has changed or, if you're back on full-time in campus, if you have any insight about this.
Sure. So we started hybrid back in August. So that meant that whomever was able to come and join us in Zaragoza, we would have the classes face-to-face. And those people who had visa issues or where the embassies were closed or that they were still having issues, they would join at a later date. Right now, we have all 36 students in class. So the residential students, I think that the latest that we have one student was mid-October, if I'm not mistaken, Clara. I think that was the latest that we had one of the students join, and luckily enough, all the students in the blended cohort were able to join us here in February. The good news, so I mentioned already that we were able to go to MIT, and now that we have visiting professors, so all the visiting professors are able to travel. So we hope that if nothing changes next year, it will be much better in the sense that there won't be restrictions like we do have some restrictions in terms of the facilities, like the cafeteria is closed. Some of the study rooms cannot fit as many people as before. And the students can only stay in the center during a certain amount of time during the day. So we hope that within the next months, this will change and that in August when we start, then we can go back to pre-pandemic times.
Thank you, Marta. You mentioned MIT. A couple of students are actually asking us if, in the case of submitting an application, you basically get admitted by both ZLC and MIT, or if it's like you need to submit a different inquiry or like admission process. And also if technically, if graduating from this program also is same as graduating from MIT.
Okay, so if you want to apply to multiple centers, I mean, to all these scale centers, you can do so. I mean, the application is the same for all the programs. And at the end, so you will get the opportunity to decide which program you're applying for. So we have separate admissions processes. And that's why I was referring like today, if someone has applied to the 5 programs, he or she will get 5 emails from the different centers with an admission decision. If you only apply to the CELOC program, of course, we can communicate the decision faster. We agree on the date. So the deadline was January 21st, and we are communicating the decisions now. So it's usually 4 weeks. Also, as I mentioned before, so the degrees are granted by the institutions, not by MIT. MIT Global Scale Network issues a certificate upon completion of the program, but the programs are granted by the universities. So in our case, it's the University of Zaragoza. In the case of Luxembourg, it's the University of Luxembourg. And these are not MIT as such programs.
Thanks. Juan, we have a question for you. They're asking you if you're planning to stay in Zaragoza after the master and if you've started looking for a job. So no pressure, just someone was wondering, and if is ZLC helping you in this process?
Yeah, actually, I'm planning to stay in Zaragoza. I'm looking for some jobs now. I'm just starting with it since we are not able to join, I would say, I mean, we are still studying, so I don't think it's a good idea to join the company right now. So yes, I'm just starting. Mar is also helping me with these offers, giving me some contacts. We are figuring out which companies would be best fit, what kind of like senior level I should apply, something like that. But I personally, I'm applying to Zaragoza or Spain, but my classmates are targeting some different regions and mainly in Europe, all over Europe. And they are like in several interviews right now, I would say, several processes.
I don't know if Marta or Clara would like to add anything in terms of like helping students after graduating, entering into the job market, if there is anything that you wanted to add on this.
I think that we are seeing that this year things are improving substantially. I mean, with the number of companies that have contacted us in order to conduct a recruitment session, and also the postings and the different opportunities that we see available. We will have to see because, of course, the last couple of years have been challenging for the students. I mean, have been challenging for everyone. But we do think that that this year it's going to work much nicer. And we actually have already 3 students who have received an offer. They are not taking it so far, but that's a good thing because it's the end of February. So we think that by graduation, we're going to have a good percentage of students who will have received job offers, and that is going to continue during the following months.
Thank you. Asking regarding work experience. So they're asking if the students that you're, let's say, looking for, they usually enroll into this program, if they require to have some sort of work experience, or if they should mention work experience in the resume when applying.
Yeah, that will be required. So on the resume, you will need to add your professional experience. But also, as we touched upon, so we have recent graduates in the program, but with some work experience. So these people aim mainly for the graduate programs. These are programs mainly in Europe, rotational programs as well with some of the major companies. But we do require some professional experience because otherwise, I mean, it's going to be more challenging not having some experience prior to joining the master.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
just to add in that sense, to give my example, I have 4 years of experience as an analyst, senior analyst and manager in strategic sourcing back in Chile, but also I have classmates that have a little less experience, but also 10, 15. Well, Marta already showed the figures about the average, but yes, it's really diverse as well.
Thank you. Questions about actually for Juan, how did you prepare for the admissions? So if there is any sort of advice that you can give to students that are interested in putting an application through.
Well, I would say that start doing it as soon as possible. You can save all your steps not before sending it. So just working in the letters, trying to get or reach to the contacts you want the letters from. I would say so, and looking at if you need, I don't know, the certification of language or something like that. Something that happened to me was like, actually, I thought that I had my certification for a TOEFL exam I did like several years ago, but I didn't have mine, so I had to take it again. So yeah, something like that could happen to you. So as soon as possible, if you can start, that's my recommendation.
Thank you. At the beginning of the presentation, we were mentioning about option for, let's say, scholarships and some other aid. So someone is asking if scholarships are available also for the blended version, and if there is any sort of insight that you can give about this, how to apply.
Okay, Clara, you want to take this?
Yeah, thank you. The wonderful funding opportunities that we have, it's just for the residential program. For blended students, we don't have this kind of help.
Perfect. Questions very interesting from Pedro regarding the typical timetable of a student. So Juan, what's your week or like your month look like?
Let me see. We go well. Actually, first semester it's a little bit different than this one. I think we have less classes now, but still homeworks and assignments that make us be at ZLC working or from home on those assignments during the afternoon and evening. But it's like you have to be, if you are doing the residential program. I mean, sometimes people ask me if it's possible to take it also working remotely or something like that, but I would say that that's not a good idea. It's like you need a full time really to do the master. You are like all day long committed to that. If you want to do a good job, you're gonna be during the day and the afternoon working completely in the masters during the week, I would say.
Thank you, Juan. Visa. So Bruno is asking if you as a student need a visa in order to apply to the programs, and if maybe there is some sort of office that they can support students for this.
Okay, so Clara is our visa expert.
Sorry, Federica, could you please repeat again?
Yeah,
because
sure.
I have some problems with the internet. Sorry
No,
for that.
sorry. So Bruno is asking if US students need a visa in order to apply to the program, and maybe if we can tell a little bit more about the office that they can support them.
Yeah, nationals from other countries need to apply for a student visa to come to Spain. In terms of the US students, it's even more easy because they can enter as a tourist, and once here they can apply for a student's visa. It depends on for their calendar, what suits them better. But all in all, to apply for a student visa is pretty easy. It takes about 4 weeks, and they would need the admission form from the program, as well as economic meals, health insurance, and other forms that the consulate usually requests. Also, it depends on the consulate. They may require other documents, but here at ZLC, we help them, the students, to make all the visa process smoother.
Thank you.
Then, of course, going to the MIT, they don't need any visa.
Perfect. So Marta was mentioning before and actually showed us some lovely pictures about the 3 weeks at the MIT. So Laura is asking us if on average we can just say roughly how much will it cost those 3 weeks, if there is like a sort of package of how does it work.
Okay, so what the program covers, it's the accommodation. So the students are sharing very nice studios in the residency in Marriott. So that's like a short walk to the campus to where most classes take place. I think it's 5 minutes, right, Juan? It's very, very close. And it helps when it's minus 16 degrees Celsius or when it snows. So you will need to take care of your flights as well as your living expenses for those 3 weeks. What is also included is the breakfast the whole week. And this year it was a bit different because we were not allowed to have our breakfast in the cafeteria, but bring our breakfast up to the studios. But they also serve like a couple of meals during the evenings. So hopefully next year, there is a lot of hope for next year. So hopefully next year that will also be included in the package.
Thank you. Clara was mentioning before regarding scholarships before, and they're asking us actually if there is some sort of like a requirement that someone needs to fit in order to be able to apply.
All the information, it's on the website. So all in all, they need to be admitted to the program. Then it depends on each call for applications. They will realize that they need to have a kind of profile in terms of nationality, gender, or so. But at a glance, we have scholarships for all the admitted students.
Thank you. Thanks for the clarification. Frank is asking us, so after completing the master degree, is there any sort of opportunity to transition into a PhD program? In your experience, do you have students that then decide to continue studies in a PhD? And if so, how does it work?
Well, we usually do not have students who jump in after the master's program onto the PhD, because most of the students want to have industry experience. But we do have students who, after 4 or 5 years, are interested in the PhD program. So that would be something that needs to be discussed with the PhD program directly. And I mean, that is not for sure that you can enroll in the PhD program afterwards, but if you were admitted to the program and that was your idea upon completion of the master's, that's something that can be discussed with our colleagues.
Thank you. We have Juan Andres has a very specific question, so I'm just going to make it a little bit more general. So do you believe that this sort of master could also be beneficial for someone who has over 30 years of experience? Like, do you think, there is still something to learn? Is something that you would recommend? What's your idea regarding this?
Okay, I'd say that there is always something to learn. I mean, we never stop learning, and we should not stop with learning. We also mentioned before, like the profile and some people with different years of work experience. We do have a very senior person in this current cohort. So I told them, because we had her speak to the class and said, just make use of her and try to absorb as much information as possible. She's also acting as a mentor, but she's also learning a lot from the students. So it's a win-win situation. And we also had, like a few years back, a student who had the same concern, like, am I going to learn something? Am I going to be feeling out of place because I'm 30 years senior than other students? And when the program ended, he said it was one of the best decisions I've ever made. So in terms of learning, sure. Of the experience, yeah, sure. If you ask any of them, they will say, go for it. This is something that will be very enriching.
Thank you, Marta. So we're coming towards the end of our presentation. I have to say that Marta, Juan, and Clara did a great job to tell us more about these programs and this experience. But I wanted to ask if there is anything else that you wanted to add. Maybe Juan, if there is any sort of suggestion, advice that you feel like giving to someone who's listening to us today and is interested into this process.
Yeah, sure. I would just invite you to apply to this program. I think it's really worth it because of the experience. It's like getting back to university, but with people with a lot of experience in the field. And supply chain and logistics is a really big topic now. It's getting bigger and bigger, and these kind of professionals are really demanded. So I think it's a worth it experience, and feel free to contact me, reach me on LinkedIn. Don't hesitate to contact me if you need anything for your application or to take a decision or something related to.
Thank you, Juan. Thank you so much. Marta, Clara, anything that you want to add?
Same goes for us. So if you have any questions, please feel free to contact us. Our contact information is on the website and also on the presentation itself that you will receive afterwards. If you want to have a conversation, like a more private conversation, we will be happy to talk to you and sort out any questions that you may have regarding the admissions process, what it is like to live in Spain, any questions really that you may have and that will have you lean towards applying to the program. Also, if you want us to put you in touch with any alumni, we will be happy to do so, because of course they can provide you with first-hand information about the program, and also they can tell you a little bit more about what it's meant for them to complete the master and what it's meant professionally and their career path. So happy to welcome any questions, and remember the deadline for the applications. And hope that some of you will apply to the program and to meet you in person soon.
Perfect. So yes, absolutely. And I mean, as you can see today, they're very much approachable. So any sort of questions that you might have, really take the time to send them an email, because, you know, they're here to help you and to support you. We know that you might have lots of questions, and some of them are very personal because each of you might have a different background. So, you know, feel free to reach out for questions, because that's, I believe, the best thing that you can do. And also, having Juan and other alumni or current students that can give you their perspective, I believe, is very important. So thank you so much, Marta, Clara, and Juan, for your time today. Thank you all for being connected and for your questions. We will be sending you over the next couple of days emails with relevant information. So we hope that you have all the information needed to put an application through, also, you know, to start considering this. So thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing you soon next time then.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Federica.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.